Aloha, how's everybody been? Sorry I haven't been back in a while. Had some family over, so been a little busy. Little kids, I get busy with little kids. I play with them a lot. So anyway, we're going to talk about what was this? The DNC, the MSNBC DNC Chair Forum. This is We Got Receipts. Audrey is her name. I'm not sure her last name, but we got receipts, and she's gonna go over the craziness at the DNC. She is a right winger. I'm pretty sure she supports Trump.
Here at home. Okay.
Party, but the other, but
I get my quick. Can you? Okay. Hello. Excuse me. Election cycle. You do not. These particular.
And Democrats are still taking money from the arsonists.
Would you have done anything differently? No, I'm sorry. Everyone.
excuse me, ma'am. Excuse me, ma'am. Excuse me, ma'am.
Hey, I am speaking, and I would love your attention. There is a black woman at this podium, and I deserve your attention.
Well, the Democrat Party held their first public event since their humiliating election loss to Donald J. Trump, and it did not disappoint. During the DNC chair election, instead of giving an opening statement, this lady chose to do this.
And we'll begin with the opening statements. Each candidate will have 30 seconds.
It is my desire to be the next DNC chair, and I just want to give you all a little bit of something that's been on my heart here over the last couple of days. You fight on, you fight on, you fight on, you fight on. When your government is doing you wrong, you fight on, oh, you fight on.
Wow, she really turned an opening statement into amateur night at the Apollo. Hats off. And if you were wondering whether the Democrats learned anything from the last the last 8 years, here's your answer.
Hey, I am speaking, and I would love your attention. There is a black woman at this podium, and I deserve your attention like the 11 people who went before me. Yes, I am speaking.
So they're doubling down on the I am speaking line. Excellent. If there's one thing voters love, it's being talked to like they're in preschool smuggling snacks during nap time.
In this round, so I'm going to have a show of hands. How many of you believe that racism and misogyny played a role in Vice President Harris's defeat? Okay, so that's good. You all passed.
Awkward laugh there at the end. So yes, that is their official explanation for their humiliating election loss, and they are sticking to it. Do you hear that? It's the sound of J.D. Vance winning in 2028. But don't worry, the Democrats are reaching out to everyone, all sorts of new voters, mainly the non-binary.
Rules specify that when we have a gender non-binary candidate or officer, the non-binary individual is counted as neither male nor female, and the remaining 6 offices must be gender balanced. In order to be gender balanced, we must elect 1 male, 1 female, and 1 person of any gender.
Are we supposed to believe this dude is on board with the multiple genders BS? He's stuttering so much he can barely get it out.
We must elect.
Yes, the Democrats are trying to expand back into being a Big Tent organization. They tried to win over voters by reminding them that they're imperialist thieves living on stolen land.
And recognize that our country was built on indigenous lands and hope. Yeah.
But I mean, what's the point of saying it if you ain't gonna do nothing? Like, people are, oh, indigenous lands. Like, you guys are in office. You guys could do something, like help healthcare better. The Native Americans have a real bad alcohol problem, the reservation stuff. I mean, you just talk about, oh, we took their land, but that doesn't help anybody out.
Was the speech produced by the late, great David Lynch? No offense, but it sounds like he's speaking backwards. But the event wasn't a total bust. Some did have jokes.
Sorry I was late. I got pulled over for a DEI on my way over. We need a big tent.
I think he thought that joke was gonna kill, but he should have waited for the camera to pan in on his Jerry curl mullet. Way funnier. But here's what you really
That was quite the cut.
came for. The event was a complete disaster, a total shit show. Every time the Democrats hold any kind of event, you remember those rallies, the Kamala rallies during the campaign, during the election.
Everyone's voice matters, but I am speaking now.
The CFO role is changing. Oh, you keep
That whole "I am speaking" line, I don't think that hits too well.
Not get through a single speech, a single event without members of their base screaming at them. For a party that really wanted to defund the police, boy, they sure are glad that the police are there to save them from their own voters.
Well, a lot of it's because they act like they represent the left, but they don't. So the left feels like they have nowhere to go. All these people that are arguing with the DNC, you guys just need to go to the Green Party. Just leave the DNC. Get rid of them. They're not doing anything for you. The Green Party is where you need to be.
I'm going to kick off our questioning tonight. And I will just have you know, we are going to ask the questions from this stage. There will be a moment where we will take questions from the audience, but I would ask. Thank you so much. We appreciate your enthusiasm. We are going to ask the questions from this stage. We'll ask that you please take a seat.
Take all that energy to the Green Party. Why come up here yelling at these corporate shill people that take money from billionaires, like you're saying, that commit genocide? Just take all that energy, go to the Green Party. Bring your friends. Take all that energy, go door knocking for the Green Party. Why take this energy here? You know they're not going to listen to you.
See?
This is a question we're going to ask.
All right, we're going to ask that question. We understand. We understand that there are many issues that people are very passionate about, and we are going to endeavor to get to all of those tonight. I will note that candidates will have 90 seconds to answer each question. And again, we won't ask everyone.
So one of the protesters was shouting about getting billionaires out of our elections. Of course, the Democrats outspent Trump 2-1. And we're sitting there. I watched the whole event, so you didn't have to. We're sitting there talking about getting dark money and PAC money out of our elections. So if you thought that was bad, oh, they were just getting started.
I want to take a look back to the last election cycle. You do not, pardon me. Thank you all so much. We appreciate, we appreciate your enthusiasm, and we have a number of questions we'd like to get to. If you would please take a seat, ma'am.
Okay, did you hear that protester said, I have a question, and Simone Sanders said, no, you don't, and then said, we appreciate your enthusiasm, we appreciate that you're here, blah, blah, blah. It's like, no, you already said, no, you don't. She could not help herself, and it only gets worse from here. Keep watching.
If you're willing to stay silent, we would love to have you stay. But we have a number of questions that we're going to ask. And please, you all don't know what we're asking. No one has seen our questions on this stage. Give us an opportunity to get the questions from these candidates and the answers.
They have to reassure their own audience, their own Democrat Party diehard audience at an internal DNC event that the candidates have not been given the questions in advance because they've come under so much fire for cheating and rigging their own primaries in the last 8 years. Hilarious.
That we all know you want. I see.
That's another good reason. Like she said, they've been rigging the primaries for the last 8 years. Go to the Green Party. Leave these people. They're not going to listen to you. Even if they pretend to listen to you, they still rig their primaries. So what you want is not going to matter.
My Sunrise family over here. Give us an opportunity to ask the questions, please. Thank you.
And so you can see the cops right there escorting the protester out. The first protester.
As I was saying. Dr. Hathaway, I would ask the same question to you. Would you have done anything differently? I'm sorry.
She said no.
Everyone, please. We cannot. I am going to ask.
Okay, so the lady who chose to sing instead of giving an opening statement, even she's sitting there like, this is unprofessional.
Everyone, please. We cannot. I am going to ask if the audience would please give us an opportunity to ask the questions. And if you are not going to give us an opportunity to ask the questions, we are going to simply ask you to leave. We will not be able to get through this evening. We will not be able to get through this evening if you all continue to interrupt.
Our planet is running out of time.
And we are running
Our planet is running out of time. Go to the Green Party.
out of time in this forum. Again, I would ask if
The protesters said, our planet is running out of time, and Simone Sanders hits back, not gonna lie, kind of a fire line, and we are running out of time in this forum. As you will see, she was not handling these people well and ended up having a complete meltdown.
anyone else feels the need to disrupt, please stand up and do it right now. I want to give you your opportunity.
Oh, that's not really how you protest, right? You protest when people don't want you to. It's supposed to be a bother.
I want to give you your opportunity. Do it right now. Do it right. That being said, I hope we don't see.
Well, instead of that, instead of giving their opportunity to yell or whatever right now, she could have gone to the people's question section first, right? She could be like, we'll do the audience Q&A first and let them ask their questions, because if they're just going to yell them anyway, just give them the mic, let them ask their questions, and then do your Q&A right after.
Any more disruptions? I'm so sorry, Dr. Hathaway. Please answer the question. I want to ask specifically about something that came up. I want to ask, we're going to continue to go forward. I want to ask specifically about something that came up during the election, and I will direct this question to you, Governor O'Malley, and to you, Mr. Martin. We're going to continue to go forward. About 1/3 of Donald Trump's advertising, campaign advertising in October of 2004, pardon me, well, wait a second.
If you escaped the
They're going to get them too.
Okay, so initially Simone Sanders was saying, we're just going to talk over them, we're just going to ignore it. And then she says, all right, we'll wait. So the protester was saying, raise your hand. Do you work for billionaires or do you work for people like me, the working class? Raise your hand. So he was mocking the fact that the chairs or the chair candidates all had to raise their hand to say that they thought that racism and sexism and misogyny were behind Kamala Harris's loss to Donald Trump. Perfect.
Well, wait a second.
You wouldn't have to ask that question if you was at the Green Party convention.
Thank you. So we're going to continue on. Again, about 1/3 of the Trump campaign advertising in October of 2024 was dedicated to, and I'm going to use quotes here, gender-changing surgeries for a small number of trans, incarcerated, and undocumented immigrants. These particular...
And Democrats are still taking money from the arsonists.
See, I wasn't sure what that meant. Who the arsonists?
40 years ago, I'm not talking to all of you. Don't shake your head like that. You've been on you for how long now?
Don't shake your head like that.
This is embarrassing.
This is embarrassing.
Teachers, we don't hate the Democratic Party.
Oh, you should hate the Democratic Party.
And we get betrayed by the establishment.
I think it's important to say here...
Okay, so at first one of the protesters shouted out that they're funded by arsonists.
And Democrats are still taking money from the arsonists.
Presumably they're echoing this theory that the fires in Maui, the fires in LA, and maybe even a lot of the activity in Gaza is all done to clear out a lot of very expensive property, very expensive real estate for private equity to buy up. Anyway, this is out there floating around, so I think maybe that's what this protester is echoing. And so you can hear the whole audience audibly gasp. And then you hear this guy come in, this male protester, saying that this is embarrassing. We knock on doors for this party, and you do nothing for us.
Man, you guys got all that energy. Go to the Green Party. Take all that energy to the Green Party. DSA, let's combine the parties. Let's go out, knock on doors and build these parties. Let's get candidates that care about us. Go out to the neighborhoods, knock on them doors. Use all that energy you got right now. Build the Green Party DSA. Let's combine them. Let's combine all the left-wing parties, all the progressive parties. Build them up. Get candidates. Fill up the tickets and give people an option of an actual left-wing progressive candidate instead of two right-wing options and the lesser evil.
How long now? How long? This is embarrassing. This is embarrassing. We're teachers. We don't hate the Democratic Party. We stop that. We knock on doors.
it's important to say here.
So this male protester said, "Don't shake your head like that."
But Marianne Williamson over there, she needs to be with the Green Party. There she is.
Don't shake your head. And they said, this is embarrassing. We knock on doors and then we get betrayed by the establishment. Their base is completely flipping on them. They are completely against them. This is hilarious.
I think it's important to say here, we respect people's opinions.
No, you don't.
And it is definitely understandable that there is a lot of passion in this moment because the issues in this moment is so, the stakes are high.
The stakes are high and the issues are very important. And look, I can understand why people want to jump up and yell out their questions to these people who hope to lead the party. But can you
respect my gangster?
Let's talk about the climate emergency. Okay, hello.
Oh shit.
Let's get to the climate emergency. Let's get to the climate emergency. Jen Psaki, excuse me. We're gonna skip ahead. Jen Psaki's gonna ask about the climate.
See, that's kind of like what I said earlier. You're going to skip ahead to the climate. Why wouldn't just let the audience ask their questions now? If they're just going to be yelling, just skip ahead to the audience Q&A. Let the audience ask their questions because they probably wouldn't cut each other off, right? If you gave the mic to one audience member, they're not going to be yelling over each other. Ask their question, let the people answer it, give it to the next audience member, go through the audience, 5, 10, 15 people, whatever it is, and then they'll probably let you ask your questions more. But why skip ahead to the climate part, but not let the audience just ask their questions if they're going to be doing this anyway?
We're going to go to climate. Let's go.
We'd like to ask some of these questions. If you could just give us a moment. Thank you.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you all for thank you.
MSNBC is not used to having a live audience. I really do think if they had a live audience every time, it would sound like this.
All so much. We really appreciate you all being here. I just want to restate.
It's just a lot.
We want to hear your opinions. We're just asking the questions so you can all hear from these candidates and people at home can hear. Okay, let me start by asking a question more formally that someone asked.
Look at her face, boy.
If you're an engineer making 100,000.
Let's see if they're going to let Jen Psaki talk.
Sanders is about to completely lose it. She's about to storm the crowd and grab him herself.
Thank you all. Obviously, fundraising, as you all know, is a big part of the role of the Democratic National Party's chair. It's a very important part of the discussion we want to talk about. It's a challenge because it funds state parties, but also you have to make decisions about who you will take money from. So we'll be discussing that in just a moment. Just want to make sure everybody can hear at home. Okay. Thank you. He made quite an exit. We'll give him that. Okay. Okay, let me start with this question on the fundraising front, because it was asked before, and again, we respect the passion. These are important questions, and we want to get to them as we said we would. Please raise your hand if you would be for supporting a ban on corporate PAC donations to the Democratic National Committee. Okay, and let's have a discussion about this. Mr. Martin, you said that there are a lot of good billionaires out there who have been with Democrats, who share our values, and we will take their money. But we're not taking money from those bad billionaires. What is a good billionaire and what is a bad billionaire in your view?
A good billionaire is the one that gives us money. A bad billionaire is the one that doesn't give us money.
Tests are not done. Trust me, there's more. But this is a brief interlude. They're asking Ken Martin, who ended up being elected as the DNC chair, they're asking him about his statement that you should only accept money from good billionaires and not from bad billionaires. Bad billionaires are the ones that don't share your values. They're the ones that say, my heart goes out to you, and everyone, on the Democrat side says it's a Nazi salute. Those are the bad billionaires.
I will make this commitment to everyone. I will work my ass off to make sure we push to get the corrosive impact of money out of politics. We've got to change this. We raised and spent over $10 billion just last year in 2024 on elections on the Democrats.
That is crazy. If they just put that money into the communities, things would be so different. They raise all that money and spend it on advertising. It's such a waste.
Democratic side. And the presidential race, $2.5 billion. It's obscene. We've got to reverse course. We also have to win elections, not at any expense. We got to get dark money out of politics. We got to end Citizens United. We need a complete overhaul of our campaign finances. And my commitment is we will not take money from corporations that are union busting. We will not take money from corporations that are polluting our planet. We will only take money from people who share our values. That's a DNC that I'm going to lead.
It's the irony of the Democrats talking about getting money out of elections when they receive record numbers of dark money contributions and have, especially in the last 8 years with the Trump elections. They've outspent Trump in every single election they've run against him the last 3 elections. They outspent him in this last election 2-1, and that's with Trump having the richest man in the world on his side. The Democrats actually were the party that thought that they could buy the election, and they were unsuccessful, and democracy prevailed in spite of money in elections. And now they're trying to act as though they're holier than thou, and we're the ones trying to cleanse our elections of money. Please. Even these diehard Green Party progressives that still support this party are probably thinking, what the hell are these people talking about?
No diehard Green Party progressives support this party. That doesn't even make sense. How can you be diehard Green Party, especially diehard Green Party, and progressive and support the Democrats? No one does that. You're not a diehard Green if you're supporting the Democrats, obviously. But if you're a progressive, you're probably not progressive if you're actually supporting the Democrats.
About the ship sailed. But I sat through this 7-hour live stream so you didn't have to.
Excuse me, ma'am. Excuse me, ma'am. Excuse me, ma'am. Security, please.
Stop taking oil money! Get out my way.
Get out my way.
Protest the Republicans. Protest the people who are actually hurting you.
Oh, the Democrats are hurting. Joe Biden, Bill Clinton, Joe Biden passed the crime bill talking about they don't even care about regular people. They care more about their family. Joe Biden said he didn't care about millennials like 4 or 5 years ago. Kamala Harris is the prosecutor that will put you in jail with the stroke of her pen and get you out with the stroke of her pen and cackle about it. Are you serious? The party hurt you. The Democrats hurt you just as bad, if not worse.
I think it's important to say here, we respect people's opinions. It is definitely understandable that there is a lot.
I'm sorry, that was his fault.
All I can say after watching it is President J.D. Vance has a nice ring to it.
Oh my gosh. They're so bad. The Democrats are so bad. If you support the Democrats, I don't know what you're watching, what you're looking at. Please wake up. Look somewhere else, anywhere else. I mean, if you're progressive, look to the Green Party, DSA, go left. If you're right wing, I guess look at the Libertarian or Republican Party. But that being said, we're going to cover a bunch of these people covering from the left to the right and everything in between. We're going to look at the DNC Chair Convention from across the spectrum.